Hey guys, I'm Tori, this is Seb, and we are No Nonsense Coaching. In today's video, we're going to teach you how to nail the perfect press up depending on your ability.
The bodyweight press up is one of our favorite upper body strength based exercises. It's great for developing the chest, shoulders and triceps, so all your pushed base muscles as well as your core. It's actually a way more technical exercise than people realize, and if done incorrectly can lead to some serious shoulder injuries. So today we're going to really break down the technique so you know how to build your strength properly and safely.
Even if you're a complete beginner, we're going to be showing you 4 variations that are suitable for all levels. We're going to show you from easiest to hardest so that you have that natural progression to build up to a full body weight press up. When it comes to press ups, there's 4 principles that you need to apply no matter what variation you're taking. Number 1 is hand position. You want to make sure that your hands are just outside of shoulder width apart and they're not too far ahead of you. They should be stacked directly with your shoulders on top of your elbows. A common fault that we often see is that people have their hands far too far ahead of them, and then it becomes really shoulder dominant and their elbows flare out. Key principle number 2 is scapular retraction. Now what we often see is people dipping into their shoulder blades like Seb's doing right now. Basically this means they've got nowhere to go because their shoulder gets jammed up and they end up just bending very slightly at the elbows. So it becomes like a really shallow press up. So what you want to do to correct this is push your hands into the floor, and as you can see what that's done is flatten out Seb's upper back. The third principle is to switch on your core. Now so often we see people dipping into their lower backs and dropping in the hips when they go to a press up. It's going to put loads of pressure on your lumbar spine and restricts the movement in the chest as well. And the 4th key principle is to do with the angle of the elbows. We want to aim for a 45-degree angle from the body. What you often see is people taking their elbows out to 90 degrees, and what they do is they end up disengaging a lot of the muscles in their upper back and their chest. So just to recap, your 4 key principles. Number 1 is hand position. You want to have them directly underneath the shoulders and just outside of chest width. Number 2 is scap retraction. You want to make sure you're pressing the floor away and flattening out the upper back. Number 3 is your core control. You want to squeeze the belly and lengthen the tailbone down towards your heels. And number 4 is your elbow angle. You want to get to a 45-degree angle from the body.
So our first variation of press-ups is the elevated knee press-ups, and this is the best variation for absolute beginners. Applying the 4 principles that we just spoke about, you're going to be on your knees and you're going to be putting your hands on an elevated surface. If you're doing this from home, using a sofa, using your bed, using a bench, whatever you have in your household, or in the gym, using a squat rack can be a great tool for this exercise. So again, going through the 4 principles, we've got hands just outside shoulders, we've got scap nice and flat, lower back flattened out, core engaged. And what Tori's going to do is just bend at the elbows only. The middle of the chest is going to touch the curve of the box, and this is going to press back up into full extension. As you can see, nice straight line from the knees up to your shoulders throughout the full movement. The great thing about elevated knee press-ups is you can make the exercise more difficult by using a lower box or a lower item, and make it more easier by using a higher box or a higher item.
So to progress from there, we have our second variation, which is the knee press-up. As we said with the previous variation, the lower the bench, the harder the moves become. So now we've taken that bench away and we're just going to do them on the floor. Applying the same 4 principles as before, the key thing with a knee press up is you want to make sure that your hips and your chest touch the floor at the same time.
Once you can complete 10 to 12 reps of knee for press-ups. The next one to progress to is the elevated press-up. This is where we switch from our knee onto our tiptoes. From here, the exact same principles apply as before. We're still lowering our chest down so it touches the curb of the box or the curb of the bench. Back stays nice and flat. However, this time we want a nice straight line from our heels up to our shoulders.
And then this progresses on to our variation number 4, the full body weight press up. Once you can do 10 to 12 elevated press ups, again progressing lower and lower towards the ground, you're ready to do the full body weight press up from the floor. So set up exactly the same, hands just outside the chest, directly underneath the shoulders, lift up onto the toes, and you want to think like a plank here. So there's not much difference, we've got a straight line from the crown of the head all the way down towards the heels. From there, the only thing that moves is the elbows. All the way down and all the way up. Hips and chest should touch the floor at the same time. Make sure you're not drooping into the hips. This is solely an isolation of the upper body, and your body stays in that plank position the whole time.
I hope you guys found this useful. If you'd like a personalized program to help build strength and confidence both in and out the gym, then all you need to do is click the link below and apply for a free transformation session.
As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, comment them below. We're gonna